What's going on, guys? Smarty here. Welcome to another episode of Employee Screenings. This week I saw Star Trek Into Darkness, and honestly, I have to say, this was fucking awesome. Like, holy goddamn shit. I don't think I've ever, been blown away by a movie like this. I mean, sure, right now I'm gonna put out the thought that this is gonna be very mixed. It's gonna be very polarizing. Like, you're either gonna love it, or you're either gonna hate it. And specifically, if you're gonna hate it, it's mainly because I feel like the diehard fans of Star Trek, like the old Star Trek who loved the show, who love Next Generation, who love, what is it? I think it's Deep Space Nine? Is that the name of it? Yeah, I think it's Deep Space Nine. Yeah, the fans who love the shows of Star Trek are really going to not like this. Granted, my friend Andrew, who was a diehard fan, said he fucking loved this movie, but I feel as if you're gonna think much like Spony said in his review of the previous one. I feel like you're gonna say that J.J. Abrams took the franchise out back behind the barn and shot it in the back of the head. Honestly, I don't think so. I think much like how with, and I know this is a weird comparison, but let me go get this really quick. Much like with Amazing Spider-Man and whatnot, the guy who made this, I think it was Mark Webb, the guy who made this made it his own. And I think J.J. Abrams made this Star Trek his own, and I really liked it a lot. Everybody did a good job. Chris Pine did a fantastic job. Zachary Quinto as Spock, fantastic. Simon Pegg as Scotty was one of my favorite roles in the entire thing. Out of everything, though, I think it's safe to say that Benedict Cumberbatch needs to play more villain roles, because he was so convincing as a villain. Like, I don't think that there's anything bad I can say about him. I mean, a lot of people are gonna say that even though he has the name Khan Noonien Singh, that's more or less an Indian name, that's more or less something that would be for someone of Middle Eastern descent. However, I honestly did not care about that. I thought that he played a very good Khan, like, very stoic, very cold, very robotic, almost. He almost plays a good Vulcan if you look at him. Like, he might as well be a Vulcan. I would not be surprised if he was going to be cast as Spock, but lost out to Quinto. Sidetracking. I really thought that he did a fantastic job. He needs to play more villains. He's playing Smog, so there's that. He's the voice of fucking dragons, dude. That's awesome. Alright, well, so I'm gonna try and not spoil as much as I can about the movie. I'm just gonna sort of talk about the basics of the plot. It starts off basically they are on this planet sort of observing an indigenous life form, and all goes sour as a volcano is basically erupting. Spock goes into the volcano to try and prevent it, and he says that he wants to stay there because, of course, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few actually pops up in the movie. He gets teleported back on, they stop the volcano, and in the process break a bunch of military regulations and rules, thus causing Captain Kirk to lose his ship. He loses the title of captain. They're about to send him back to Academy. I think Pike takes over? Yeah, Pike takes over. Pike takes over, and he says that he tells Chris Pine / Kirk, whatever. He tells Chris Pine that he's going to try and keep him on board as his first in command. Basically Spock's job, and he transfers Spock to another unit. They go to this meeting, which is like a military meeting with all of the captains and first in commands and stuff like that, to discuss a building that has been blown up, and it's by John Harrison, I think. I can't remember, but alright, we'll just say Benedict Cumberbatch. That's been blown up by Sherlock. The building blowing up is actually just a ruse to get all of the different people in the meeting, so then Benedict Cumberbatch's character can go in and try and take out everyone in Starfleet. And, of course, Pike dies. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop there. I don't want to get into the spoilers, but basically from that point on, it's a manhunt to try and get back Benedict Cumberbatch and to stop him. So, what I was going to say was I really liked a lot how there were major references to the Star Trek lore and to the Star Trek series. Even the movies as well, like, one of the major moments from Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, if you know of the movie and you know of Spock's death in that movie, they sort of pay homage to it, except in reverse. I can't tell you what happens, but when I say in reverse and you get what I'm saying, yeah. So this isn't probably going to go up until after the movie's actually released, but yeah, when you get that, you'll understand what I mean. That played out really well. At first, I was kind of confused. Like, I got it. I understood it. I understood what they were doing with it, but at first, it didn't sit well with me, like, how it played out. Hearing Spock do the Khan yell was very weird to me, because, like, I know Spock is, like, the logical, cold, emotionless sort of character who really only wants to, like, give the best logical solution to everything. And to see what happened in that scenario, like, I mean, they took that from the spot in Wrath of Khan where fucking Kirk's son dies, and yeah. But they took that entire scene, or they took the scene, the death scene, you know what I'm talking about, and just reversed it and made it really cool. But at the same time, it left me fucking confused, so I was like, this is amazing, but I don't know how to feel about it. It is awesome, but don't know. It was interesting, to say the least. Other than that, a lot of references were really like the Klingons. Yeah, they encounter a platoon of Klingons, who they get into a fight with after fucking Khan decides to shoot up the entire place. They got to use backleths. That's awesome. It was the huge double-fisted knife thing, which apparently I found out is like, okay, kind of moving off topic here. I remember taking a mythology class, and someone actually did this thing where they talked about Star Trek and Norse mythology and brought up the backlath, and it was so cool. And I'm probably mispronouncing it wrong. It's either backlath or backlath. I always said backlath, but whatever. If you guys want to correct me on that, I apologize. Whichever way it's pronounced, please let me know. I think it's backlath. It was a very well shot movie. That's one thing I'm going to move on to really quick. It was very well shot. Lens flares galore, as we all know. That's J.J. Abrams' signature thing. Just lens flares everywhere in the movie. I would not be surprised if in Star Wars 7 we're going to see lens flares coming off of the lightsabers. That's going to be a thing I can tell is going to happen. It's very well directed, specifically kind of going back to Benedict Cumberbatch's acting. He was directed very well, I can tell. Specifically, there's one scene where it's basically the revelation of him being Khan. In that scene, he gives one of the more emotional performances in a movie. Like, I actually was just taken aback by how fucking beautiful and how awesome his acting was in this one scene where he's pretty much spilling his heart and soul, like, right there, just pouring it all out, and, like, you could see, like, the tears swelling in his eyes, and he blinks and it just bursts down his cheek, and it was so good. People are gonna cry from this, I can tell. People are gonna tear the fuck up. Yeah, it's on that level. As I mentioned, everyone did a good job in the movie. Specifically, like I said, my favorite character in the entire thing was Scotty. Scotty did a fantastic job. And honestly, I'm so happy Simon Pegg got cast in that role, because I don't think it would have worked if not for Simon Pegg. Really, there's not much more I can say. I know I had a lot more planned. I saw this last night, and I was gonna record it at 3 in the morning, but honestly, was way too tired, so I wish I could really say more about it. I'm gonna probably see it again, just to double check. I'll probably do a follow-up, but honestly, if I could say anything about the movie, I was entertained as fuck by it. This summer, so far, is coming off to a good start with Iron Man 3, The Great Gatsby, and, and Star Trek. I mean, looking back on Gatsby, I saw it again, and honestly, I'm gonna take back what I said about the music, because if you look at it, it does sort of work. I thought I was gonna be taken out of the mood from the film, but I enjoyed it, actually. Some of it worked. Also, it introduced me to one of my favorite songs from the soundtrack, Heart's a Mess, and yeah, Heart's a Mess by Godier. I enjoyed it. Anyway, going back to Star Trek, as I was saying, enough on the Gatsby thing. Yeah, I would recommend seeing it. It's something it's gonna be around for a while, I can tell. It's Star Trek, that's all I can say. It's fucking Star Trek. Fucking go see it. Do yourself a favor, if you don't have it, it's probably in the back of my shelf. But anyway, do yourself a favor, just before going to see it, watch the original Star Trek, then watch this one. It's really good. I would highly suggest it. So with that said, I will talk to you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed this employee screening. This is Smarty, signing off.